Hi everyone, my name is Rebecca Jones and I'm the Democratic nominee for Congress in Florida's 1st Congressional District, running against Matt Gaetz for the U.S. House in November. So if you're a new follower and you don't know my whole story, once upon a time, I was the manager of COVID-19 data and surveillance in all of our public health data systems for the state of Florida. I did that job well, all the time, by myself. I built all of our public-facing data portals, I built our dashboard. Dr. Deborah Birx did a tour of the country saying how great it was. Even our own Surgeon General did interviews praising my work. Up until the moment that I was asked to manipulate data and pass it off as authentic to the general public when it was not. I was fired for that. I was attacked relentlessly by the governor of my state, whom I've never met. I was defamed, harassed, stalked, eventually raided, jailed for a day, and then charged with a crime. A crime that, according to the Supreme Court as of last year, is not a crime. A crime that, according to the Department of Law Enforcement in the state of Florida, is not a crime. A crime that, according to the Department of Health, is not against policy. Several months ago, I received an offer from the state to dismiss the charges entirely. They said it would be in the state's best interest to dismiss it. I had to agree to pay a $100 processing fee, not to get arrested for anything, and to say I was responsible for a text message telling people who worked at DOH to be honest. I would not do the third part, so we were negotiating on the language of that when I won the primary, which is something that Ron Desantis and all the people who helped the sham candidate who ran against me didn't count on. Then the conditions changed. I was presented with 14, I think, new conditions, one of which was that I would pay for the raid on my home. So they wanted me to pay more than $21,000 for the officers' time that they spent illegally raiding my house without a warrant and pointing guns at my children. They wanted an apology to the Department of Health, who had been tormenting me and my family for years, whom my whistleblower complaint was filed against. They wanted me to agree to dismiss my whistleblower case and to never refile it. They wanted me to delete all of the raw data that proved my whistleblower case after months of trying to convince the public that the case was dismissed, which it wasn't, and that I never had access to the raw data as the data manager to begin with. I went to Tallahassee to speak with them about this, and this was their offer. It was a complete 180 from what we had been discussing for months. They knew they didn't have a case, and when I was told that I would have to drop a case that they said had been dismissed, delete data that they lied and said I never had access to, apologize to them, pay for the raid on my home, and then agree never to hold a position in the state or a job in the state ever again. And the kicker was, they wanted me to legitimize all of this by saying that it was non-retaliatory, non-discriminatory action, because otherwise, if I signed it, it would absolutely be retaliatory and discriminatory. And I told them to go fuck themselves. I would spend a year in prison if it meant that I got to force Ron DeSantis to testify under oath about everything he knew, every lie that he ever told, every person that he got killed in this state. There's something called an Apex exemption. If you get a crappy iPhone, you couldn't, sue the head of Apple for it because it's assumed that he has nothing to do with the day-to-day, operations or manufacturing. It's called the Apex. Ron DeSantis just lost it by threatening to try to throw me in prison if I don't drop the whistleblower case and delete all the proof. We can force him to testify under oath. And that's exactly what we're going to do.